What's up, everybody? It's Zach with KT Outdoors, and today is Compost Day. We've been getting a lot of compost and stuff done, so come along and take a look at that little spider crawling on my sleeve that just, there it goes right there. Isn't that cool? All the compost coming up next. All right, well, I switched hats. This one has air conditioning in the top because, it's vented. Oh, honestly, it's sweltering today. It's like pushing 100. This has been the weirdest year, and really caused some impacts on some of the things that we had growing, which is why today we're doing so much composting, because what we had growing on down here was a bunch of that, and I mean a bunch, and we still have some, but that was matched right over there, and you can see that now it's all gone. And we also had a bunch of it over there in that bed. I'll see if I can find some old footage to show everybody, but the weather doing what it has done has caused us some problems. Last, I was just finishing up some old edits on some footage that I didn't get out in time. The last time I was editing a video, it was like rainy and cold, and we were in the middle of a cold snap, and I was talking about saving tomatoes with that hoop house. And then literally within days, it was like in the hundreds and just hot. And so a lot of these cool season crops, you can see that arugula back there, that lettuce back there, the arugula that's down here, like all of these things just started to really cave under the weather. I've been able to keep the peas going pretty good so far, but otherwise, like, it's just hot for these cool season crops, and so they get bitter and their flavor's just not as good, because it's not the ideal growing condition for them to have days that are full sun and pushing 100 for multiple days in a row that literally came out of nowhere. But anyway, that's not really the point of this. The point of this conversation is, how do we make lemonade out of this lemon? Because we have a ton of lettuce still, like I've harvested a ton, and we'll come and we'll walk through here so you guys can see what's left. Like, still all of that, still some down here, and all of that is all still there. Not to mention all of that I already showed you, plus I've got some down in the food forest space still, and it's all no good. It's all too hot. Well, it's not too hot, it's too bitter. It got hot, so the plants turn bitter. They're trying to flower, they're trying to produce seeds, because they know, I can't live in this environment, it's too hot for me. So the lettuce is just doing what the lettuce does. Now, we're of course very upset, because we love Salanova lettuce. We love those fresh salads that we've been getting. We really enjoy them, and we're really disappointed that we don't have them anymore. But this is not a complete and total loss, and I'll tell you why. I grow a lot of lettuce for us, and also for the rabbits, which you've heard me talk about before. And they've been eating really well lately, like lots of lettuce every day. They're getting lettuce, they're getting big overgrown cilantro, they're getting herbs, they're getting weeds. Like, they're getting a lot of different stuff, but I still have too much. That's okay, because do you know what lettuce is? Lettuce is a really great compost fuel. It's nitrogen, it's green, and it's loaded with water, especially if you keep it watered before you harvest it. So there's lots of good stuff in that lettuce. So today, literally, we made compost salad, and we needed to, because we had A, a lot of compost, and B, a lot of lettuce, and we still need to make more. But I'm going to drop in some footage. I got a GoPro from my buddy, so I got some footage of me doing the compost thing, so I'll drop it in here so that you can kind of see. It's pretty simple. Basically, I just took the start of a compost pile that was the bedding in our chicken coop system. I'll put a link up here if you're not familiar with how we use our greenhouse, chicken coop, seed starting thing, whatever, to generate compost. Well, that compost was doing really good, but you can see from some of the footage, it's kind of far away, but you can see that it's not really broken down. It's not really black. There's actually a lot of fungus and stuff growing in here, because while there's a lot of nitrogen from the chicken manure, there's not quite enough to break down all the straw and the shredded paper and everything else that was in there. And so by adding the lettuce into the layers of the compost that I'm building here, we should be able to get a really, really epic compost coming out the back end. Now, just for the sake of experimentation and to have a control, I did a second pile with just the chicken bedding. So basically what was already there, and I just piled it up vertical, but without the lettuce or the arugula or any of the other, bolted greens that I had in there, without any of that added. So down the road, we can have a follow-up video where we break into those piles and see how they turned out. So, all right, so there you go. My 2 cents on taking what could have been viewed potentially as something bad, right? Like, my lettuce all bolted, I'm really ticked off, I can't eat it anymore, which I was. But I kept thinking about it, and finally settled on the fact that, you know what? It's all good. This is just something to add to the compost pile. We're going to make lemonade out of these lemons and use all of this beautiful green material as fuel for our compost piles to get them just really kicking and rocking. And we'll have some epic soil because of this bad weather. So anyway, that's all for this one. Thanks for watching. Remember to get outside and get growing, because life's better when it's lived outdoors. We'll see you next time.